Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, and John Vias, Peter Brown with the weather, and Maddie Shipka with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. Mass State Police are asking for the public's assistance in an investigation into a fatal motorcycle accident on Route 95 in Woburn late Monday night. Police report that Matthew R. Carr, 23 of Woburn, was the victim of the fatal accident. He was operating a 2012 Suzuki GSX-R 60 when he crashed at 11:56 p.m. north of exit 35. Initially, state police did not know if another vehicle was involved, but after further investigation, that seems likely. Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan, the preliminary investigation suggests that the involved vehicle may be a red or maroon-colored multi-axle dump truck or tractor-trailer. Based on the circumstances of the crash, the vehicle may also have damage to the tire or wheel area. The vehicle is believed to have been traveling northbound on Interstate 95 at the time of the crash. Anyone who has information about the crash or who may have witnessed any part of it or may have seen Mr. Carr operating on Route 95 shortly before midnight is asked to please call State Police Danvers at 978-538-6161. There will be a new person in the top spot at the Burlington Fire Department. Town Administrator Paul Sagarino appointed current Assistant Chief Mike Patterson as the interim chief when current Chief Steve Yetman retires at the end of August. Sagarino and members of the Board of Selectmen congratulated Patterson on his new position, but not before lauding Yetman for his 42 years with the department. Let's take a look at some of their comments.
Thank you, Steve. Paul said 40-something. I don't think anyone, you've been around so long, we've sort of lost count of how many years you've actually been with the town, but I do believe it's 42 years, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm in my 42nd.
I've had the privilege of working alongside with you my entire 30-year career, and it's certainly been a pleasure of mine to have been able to do that.
Professionally, I'd like to thank you again for your 40-plus years of service. We've worked side by side for years. Sometimes you don't see the day-to-day changes, but if you look at a snapshot of when you started as chief and you look at a snapshot of where the department is today, that gives you a better idea of your accomplishments and how you've gone from point A to point B.
No, Chief, thank you for everything that you've done. Your service in this town has been greatly appreciated, and leading the fire department, and just doing a great job. And as a resident, I thank you, and I truly hope that you enjoy every day of your retirement, because from what I understand, it's pretty awesome.
The board then welcomed Patterson as the new interim chief. Board Chairman Joe Morandi wished him good luck and said the entire community will be there to support him as well as the department. Later in the meeting, the board the board members were updated on the process of finding a new fire chief to replace Yetman. Town Administrator Paul Sagarino explained they will form a committee with himself, a member of the board, Human Resources Director Joanne Faust, Police Chief Michael Kent, and a chief from a neighboring community if they can find one who can spare the time. The position will be opened internally to any member with the rank of captain or above, which is 7 potential candidates, including Assistant Chief Patterson. In other Burlington Fire Department news, it now has a member in its ranks, a new member. Town Administrator Sagarino appointed Benjamin Elwell as the department's newest firefighter paramedic at the recommendation of Chief Yetman during Monday night's meeting. Yetman said the department will continue to fill vacancies in the ranks. Yetman said Elwell, a Gloucester resident, graduated from Gloucester Public Schools before attending Salem State College for a degree in criminal justice. Elwell also completed the emergency medical technician program through the Elite Medical Educators and the paramedic program at Northern Essex Community College. Elwell previously worked for both Beauport and Lyons Ambulance Services. He is currently employed by Beauport as a paramedic. At the recommendation of Yetman, Town Administrator Sagarino made the appointment. The Board of Selectmen voted unanimously to waive the standard 15-day waiting period. Members of the interfaith clergy in Burlington and Bedford gathered at the First Parish Church on the Bedford Town Common on Wednesday evening to both hold a vigil for those lost in recent acts of gun violence and to call for changes in federal gun laws. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
A crowd gathered on the Bedford Town Common in front of the First Parish UU Church on Wednesday night to remember those lost in recent mass shootings and to voice their desire to see changes in federal gun laws. The event, both a vigil and a call to action, was led by the interfaith clergy from Burlington and Bedford and State Rep Ken Gordon. It featured speeches, prayers, songs, and the lighting of a candle in memory of those lost. Organizers said it is important for people to stand up and have their voices be heard.
You know, it's important because I got an email from a constituent last week who said, I feel helpless. What can we do? You know, we read the news almost every day. There's another mass shooting. In fact, today, as we're here today, I'm reading about another mass shooting going on in Philadelphia. Every day we're seeing this in the news, and we've got to be able to do something to stop this. And so I think it's important that we get together and speak out.
Well, we just can't forget that these things are constantly happening in our country and are continuing to happen even as we speak. And the news cycle is so busy, and it's so easy for us to get involved in other issues or just be involved in the daily news that this loses its focus in our minds, and we just can't afford for that to happen. So hopefully this evening we can encourage people to keep this in the forefront of their mind and do whatever we can to help alleviate the situation and help to prevent future acts of violence in our country.
For his part, Rep. Gordon said that while he mourns for those lost to gun violence, he wanted the night to be focused more on what can be done in the future than what has happened in the past.
Vigil, as you know, when I speak, I'll talk about vigil comes from the root of being vigilant, being awake and being aware. This is a call to action because people want to respond. People want to have an assignment, a takeaway. What can I do? And so what we're going to do is we're going to take up a collection of names here at the UU Church in Bedford, but also I'm hoping people are watching your broadcast when you show this now through BCAT, and sign up that way. Send me an email, ken.gordon@mahouse.gov. Send me an email saying, I want to help too. And that list will be used, we'll send it to organizations that want to respond to all that's been happening in the country.
I asked Rabbi Abramson what she would like to see done on the federal level.
Well, I personally would like to see a ban on all assault weapons. There's absolutely no reason for anybody to have one, and there needs to be universal background checks and checking on the waiting periods and training periods. Just like we need to have go through a whole training to get a driver's license. It's ridiculous that we don't have to have the same standards for a weapon. So I would like to see all of that enacted as quickly as possible.
Rep. Gordon said it may be necessary to do more than just convince federal lawmakers to adopt gun control measures like the ones we have here in Massachusetts. He suggests changes in Washington may be necessary for anything to happen.
Well, first of all, will the lawmakers that we have in control of Washington do anything? And history has to be a judge of that. And they haven't done anything year after year after year. They haven't done anything. And so I think the first question we have to ask is, can we expect that to change unless we change the lawmakers in Washington? And so the message that I come to is, no, we can't. So we have to have people in Washington who reflect our Massachusetts values. We have people in Massachusetts who do that. Like you said, here we're able to pass sensible laws that take into account both people's rights to bear arms and people's rights to be safe. Why can't we do that in Washington?
From the Bedford Town Common, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford.
The Burlington Department of Public Works has a new lead foreman, and for the first time in the department's history, a woman has been appointed to head a division. It has also a new part-time office worker. At Monday night's Board of Selectmen meeting, Town Administrator Sagarino, at the recommendation of DPW Director John Sanchez and Buildings and Cemetery Superintendent Frank Anderson, appointed Nicole Narigian-Runyon to the position of Buildings and Cemeteries lead foreman. Narigian-Runyon is currently employed in the Buildings and Cemetery Division as a maintenance craftsman. During her time in the division, she has demonstrated the qualities needed for this position, as well as technical skills required to complete repairs and projects in both buildings and cemeteries. Narigian-Runyon previously worked in the fire department prior to joining the Department of Public Works in 2016. She holds a contractor's supervisor license, CDL, and hoisting licenses. In addition, she is EMT certified. Sanchez added that as far as he can tell, checking the records, Narigian Runyon will be the first female supervisor in the department's history. During the meeting, Sagarino, at the request of Sanchez, appointed Danielle McKenney as the DPW's new part-time office assistant. Sanchez said this was a highly sought-after position and in total he received 97 applications and interviewed 18 candidates. He said McKenney's experience has all the qualities they were looking for, including superior customer service skills, office skills such as typing and working in the front office, in addition to good record keeping and knowledge of accounting practices. McKenney is a graduate of the University of Massachusetts with a liberal arts criminal justice bachelor's degree and has worked as an administrative assistant for the Middlesex Sheriff's Office since 2017. The Wegmans parking garage was full of police officers, firefighters, and other first responders meeting with residents, young and old, on Wednesday during the annual Safety Night event. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford has this look.
The safest place in Burlington, and likely the whole area on Wednesday night, was the Wegmans parking garage on 3rd Ave. That was the scene of the Burlington Police and Fire Department's annual Safety Night, a program modeled after National Night Out that BNews reporter Robert Paris and I covered. Residents of all ages were given the opportunity to come and meet with first responders and other public safety officials, check out some equipment and apparatus, pet police and rescue dogs, and even try and dunk a member of the Burlington Police or Fire Departments. There was also live music and free hot dogs provided by Wegmans. It's a big night that requires a lot of work and participation to bring to fruition.
Well, again, it's the Burlington Police and Fire Department are the lead organizers. Then we reach out to our partners, in addition to Wegmans, and they're a big part of this, of course, because we're here. But we reach out to our mutual aid partners, the surrounding towns, the regional police and fire agencies, and then they assist us by sending support and specialized vehicles and staff down here to help us with Safety Night.
It's fun for residents, especially the kids, to see all the equipment, learn about police work like fingerprinting, and enjoy the almost carnival-like atmosphere. But there's a more important mission at work during Safety Night, to get them familiar with police officers and firefighters in a fun environment so they know that they can be approached when needed.
It gives them a chance to meet police and fire in a relaxed setting. Traditionally, historically, when people are dealing with the police or fire or EMS, it's in a crisis situation. Things aren't good. This is a chance for them to interact with for the first responders in a calm, non-emergency situation or type of event. They get to see that we're real humans behind the badge.
And it's just a great activity to have every year. And it allows the average person to see their public safety officials in a different light. Because usually when people see their public safety officials, unfortunately it's in a different situation, it's a stressful situation, in a crisis situation. So this is a great way for the public to see us in a different light and in a non-stressful way.
I think it's always better to, particularly with children, in an atmosphere of low-keyed where they can sit on the motorcycles, for instance, or go climb in the police cruisers or the fire apparatus. So yeah, it's a nice setting to get to know public safety officers.
And the takeaway was the night was a big success.
A good time here?
Yes.
Yeah? Excellent. How about you? Are you having a good time?
Yes.
And as you can see, there's a great family atmosphere here. Everyone's having a great time looking at the different police displays and the different vendors here. Just an excellent evening.
This is a great night. It's a wonderful opportunity for our first responders to just be interacting with people in a situation that's fun, which is obviously not where they usually see them. The place is so crowded, so many little kids picking up badges and hats and just having a great time. The horses are here, the boats are here. We had an officer in the dunk tank, so it's just a great, fun night.
From Safety Night 2019 in the Wegmans parking garage, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford.
The Burlington Police Department and the Burlington Mall held their 49th annual Safety Town once again in the mall parking lot, where officers teach young pedestrians the rules of the road in preparation for the start of a brand new school year. BNews reporter John Vias was there and has this look.
With summer coming to a close and the school year dead ahead, a new group of kids will be crossing the street and riding a school bus for the very first time. The Burlington Police Department held their 49th annual Safety Town at the Burlington Mall on Tuesday, August 13th and ran through Thursday, August 15th, teaching the upcoming kindergarten and first grade students about proper bike, pedestrian, and bus safety when they're on their way to and from school. I had a chance to speak with the Burlington Mall's Director of Marketing and Business, Sheila Hennessy, about the arrangements and the planning between the BPD and the mall.
We work with the Burlington Police Department and the Traffic/Safety Division. We're the fourth officer now in charge of the program. Comes down 2 times, 3 days a week in August to get the children ready for school.
So what we go over here today is safety in general, crossing the street, looking both ways. And then after we do Safety Town, we head up towards the school bus. And we talk about bus safety and how to get off in an emergency.
Even with new additions currently being added to the mall, Safety Town has always stayed in the same spot.
It's in the same location as it was 49 years ago. So virtually we were able to enhance the town this year by bringing state-of-the-art photography of the buildings into the town, but it's actually in the exact same place as it was 49 years ago.
Officer Dominic Rossi returns for his second year after being promoted as safety officer, taking over for Sergeant Bernie Scipoletti.
I'm just more confident. Last year was my first year. He taught me the first class. I walked around with him, and I just took whatever he did. And the only thing that's really different is the improvements they made to Safety Town itself.
From the Burlington Mall parking lot, I'm John Vias for BNEWS Weekly.
The Board of Selectmen voted to send a new parking plan for the Human Services Building to the Planning Board after a previous iteration was rejected for removing too much green space. Town Administrator Sagarino said that back in June, members of the Board of Selectmen, Planning Board, workers in the building, and some residents met at the building that houses the Senior Center to discuss the parking situation. The goal of the meeting was to come up with a plan that added parking but maintained as much green space as possible. He said the need for additional parking at the site has been a point of discussion since 2005, and that the recent renovation of the building and the opening of the Grandview Farm a few years ago have only exacerbated that need. Last year they came up with a plan to add more spaces, but it was rejected by the Planning Board because it removed the entire front lawn in front of the building. This new plan will only be one bank of new parking. In total, the original plan included 54 spaces, and this new one has 23 new spaces, but could be expanded upon in the future if necessary. The new spaces, colored in black on the plan seen here, will be added in the front of the building. There will also be changes to the route of traffic. Rather than having one entrance and a separate exit, there will now be one entrance exit. Anyone who parks to the left of the building will be able to leave directly, but once someone starts going around the building, it turns into a one-way all the way around and into the new parking area. The plan also calls for new sidewalks along the front of the building that will connect existing sidewalks at the site. The Board of Selectmen voted 5-0-0 to submit the plan to the Planning Board. Burlington High School Marching Band, Red Devils, aim to cultivate a strong sense of artistry and camaraderie while striving to create a professional and safe environment while promoting self-confidence, creativity, and leadership. And all those auspicious goals begin at band camp. BNews reporter Tad Stefanak went to check it out and has this report.
Please welcome your Burlington Red Devils.
The pomp and circumstance of Burlington High School Red Devil football games begins at band camp, which is much more than a halftime show.
The students are getting ready for the upcoming season by learning the music and learning the drill and the choreography for our 2019 competitive show, To Tell the Truth. We work a lot on fundamentals of both moving and marching and playing, so we try and make sure that all the students have a strong foundation of those fundamentals before we start learning music and choreography for the show. But as you can see, there's lots of detail and lots of different techniques aside from just go that way and good luck. Right now, because we're still early in the process, we're really lucky to have a lot of staff members and great volunteers that are helping to facilitate that process.
Assistant marching band director Fading Satirial has been with the band for 8 years and knows they're working toward much more than a football game.
The football season, which is where we perform our halftime show as well, but then it's the ultimate competitions of what we're doing. We're doing 4 of them this year. 3 regular competitions through NESBA and also the championships in Lawrence.
Band camp sections and activities happen all over the BHS campus, and it takes time to pull the band together.
Usually at the end of the first week and then more towards the second week, we'll start to bring groups together. We'll start to put things together out on the field. And then that way, like I said, at the end of band camp, we'll do a performance where we'll put a lot of those pieces together. But usually around the middle of camp is when we start thinking about putting the groups together so that way they can get comfortable working with each other.
This time of year, I'm actually working on costume design, which is what all this is about here, and flag design, as well as I coordinate and correspond with the parents about making sure the kids have all they need for camp as well as the season.
It's going to be a great season. It's a really fun show. To tell the truth, it's about the movie Catch Me If You Can. It's been one of my favorite movies for a long time. It's a really interesting story based on a young man who ran away from high school and tricked people into thinking that he was a pilot and a lawyer and a doctor. He actually spoke at my undergrad when I was at Florida State, so I got a chance to hear him speak. And it's one of the most amazing stories I've ever heard, and I've always loved the movie. So we're taking parts of that story, some of the music from the movie, we're kind of making our own version of it for the marching band field.
Be sure to check out the results of BHS Band Camp at their show To Tell the Truth, Thursday, August 22nd at 8 p.m. with open rehearsal beginning at 6:30. From Varsity Field, I'm BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak.
There's a new place to grab a sandwich, salad, and or soup in the Burlington Mall. Cozy Incorporated has expanded its presence in the Boston market with its 10th area location in the mall's food court. According to the restaurant, Cozy is best known for its signature flatbread made from a centuries-old recipe. Guests can select made-to-order sandwiches, freshly tossed salads, soups, snacks, and desserts, complemented by handcrafted beverages and coffee. Cozy offerings include breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and other desserts, and catering. The Burlington opening coincides with the launch of Cozy's summer menu, featuring such items as chicken bruschetta sandwich, summer spinach salad, and blueberry smash. Cozy restaurants are located in urban and suburban settings and are designed to be welcoming and comfortable with an eclectic environment based on the original Cozy restaurant still operating in Paris, France. There are currently 48 company-owned and 17 franchise restaurants operating in 11 states, the District of Columbia, and Costa Rica. There was a fierce competition featuring beanbags at Chops American Bar and Grill on Thursday evening. It was a Cornhole for a Cause tournament to benefit the Mass General Hospital for Children Cancer Center. BNews reporter Robert Paris was there and files this report.
It was a fun night for people to socialize, have a drink, and help out a good cause. On Thursday, August 15th, Chops at the Boston Burlington Marriott held their second annual Cornhole for a Cause tournament.
This is our second annual Cornhole for the Cause to benefit Mass General Hospital for Children's Cancer Center. We're very fortunate to be sponsored by, the Burlington Marriott Hotel and Chops Restaurant. It's a great community outreach, and we raise money for the kids. We have great silent auction items, and we have all the Massachusetts local breweries that come and support our cause, and a couple of celebrities that will make a guest appearance, which we're pretty excited about. Lenny Clark, we have Steve Cooper from Channel 7, we have Jonathan Hall from Channel 7, Max Lane from the Patriots is coming in, and Steve Lyons from the Red Sox is here already. So it's a great event, year two for us, and we're very honored and pleased to be able to donate some money to the kids.
Lastly, everyone came out to show their support in the continuous fight against cancer.
It's really about Mass General Hospital for Children's Cancer Center. Howard Weinstein, who's the leader of that group, is a generous and very, very talented doctor, and gives his whole heart to everything that he does, and really it's all about that foundation. 100%, it's really about the kids.
Well, we're here to support Boston Burlington Marriott as they support a great cause, and it's just one of the things that we really love about being in this area is that the businesses really do give back to the community, and this is just a great example of that.
Just honestly to have a good time, meeting a couple new people, have a couple drinks, and just have it looks like it's going successfully right now, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty good night.
Anytime you can support a charity that supports cancer patients and kids, my goodness, you have to show up. My own grandson had leukemia when he was 14. He's 20 now. He's now a model in New York City. Must have got his good looks from me. Who knows? But he, he's healthy and happy now, and that's not always the story for everybody. But that's what we're striving for, right? So if you get the opportunity to come and support an event like that, you show up.
That as horrible as cancer is, we can beat it. We're raising money, got a lot of beautiful people, great food, cornhole tournament. I mean, if you're gonna go out and raise money, this is a nice way to do it.
From Chops American Bar and Grill, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown in our weather center for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Maddie Shipka to see what's happening in and around Burlington.
This is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days, and I hope you've been being able to get out there and really enjoy some of this beautiful August weather that we've been having. I know it's hard to believe that we are almost at the end of summer. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but we definitely have some beautiful weather to come. Now, starting out our period on Thursday, look at this. We're going to see absolutely beautiful conditions out around the Burlington area, looking at temperatures to only be in the upper 70s, so a little bit below average, which we haven't seen too much of really since back in the start of June. And if you're going to be out at night around the Burlington area, look at this. Our low is going to be down in the mid-50s, so if you're going to be out late, you might have to bring maybe a light sweater or a light jacket with you. It's going to be a little bit, I dare to say, chilly out there for August. Now, we're going to be pretty far away from these record highs, and it doesn't look like we're going to be anywhere near these mid and upper 90s that we've seen for record highs in August. And as we round out our period, look at this. Can't believe August 21st already. We're going to be actually only a month away from the official end of summer when we get to that point. And our average highs at this time of the year should be in the mid-80s. And actually, when we get towards the end of the period, we may see some return to a little bit of real summer-like warmth. So probably going to be well above these average highs. And of course, as you notice, the days keep getting shorter and shorter. So that is a certain indication of the time of year as we head towards fall. Now, as we go ahead, I'm going to bring some actually good news to light here in the weather department coming up. And this is going to be concerning how the hurricane season has been looking so far here in the Atlantic. Now, this was a map that we brought up recently, and as you can see, pretty much over most of the Atlantic, it's really quiet out there. So we've had a really, really slow start to hurricane season. National Hurricane Center, though, is predicting for us to have an above-average season. So if you're going anywhere down to the tropics, going down to Florida in the next couple of weeks or maybe the next month or so, going to have to keep an eye to the tropics. But so far, some great news, clear sailing out there in the Atlantic. Now, as we go ahead, we're going to take a look at some of those temperatures and weather coming up for the next 7 days. And I think for any of you that are some real warm weather fans, probably like I am as well, you're going to have some really nice conditions coming up. Now, again, starting our period on Thursday and going into our weekend, it looks like we're going to have some absolutely just beautiful weather, just perfect weather for this time of the year. Temperatures in the upper 70s to low and mid 80s, so really pleasant out there and really nice at night if you have to be out. Very comfortable for sleeping. Wall-to-wall sunshine, maybe a few fair weather clouds, but other than that, nothing really much going on. Now, as we start our period heading into Monday, starting out going back to work, we're going to see those temperatures starting to creep up, and actually this 84 on Monday may be a little bit too cool. And as we go ahead and we round out the week, we're going to see some showers coming into the Burlington area as we see the approach of maybe another cold front. But look at this, temperatures ratcheting up, probably up to near 90 as we get into the middle of next week. So we do have definitely a lot of summer left to go. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your Community Calendar. Keep on running! On Thursday, August 22nd at 6 p.m., LL Bean in Burlington will be having a clinic all about the introduction to trail running. Everyone is welcome. The event is free, but pre-registration is required. For more information and to register, visit llbean.com or call 1-888-552-9866. Lizards, snakes, and alligators, oh my! On Friday, August 23rd at 11 a.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a presentation called The Rainforest Reptile Show. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more information about the show, visit the website at rainforestreptileshows.com. Enjoy a trip for some delicious seafood. On Saturday, August 24th, the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department will be having a day trip to the Cabbage Island Clam Bake in Booth Bay Harbor, Maine. Everyone is welcome and pre-registration is required. The cost of the trip is $136 per person. For more information and to register, call 781-270-1695. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week we have a photo of what we can only describe as a good-looking crew. It was sent in by photographer Joe Brown of joebrownphotos.com, and it features our very own BCAT Celebrate Burlington crew in front of our BCAT van. These volunteers, under the guidance of production coordinator Chris Flaherty, ran the green screen magic that allowed participants to be projected in front of a background of their choosing and to have a moment in the spotlight and on television. Thank you for the photo, Joe. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or photos of family members, friends, and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share with us and the community, email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Rich Hosford, Tad Stefanak, John Vias, and Robert Parris, Peter Brown with the weather, and Maddie Shipka with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us.